welcome back. As you can see, we are enjoying the nice transition into fall, and welcome back. And we are beginning a new series with a really, we think would be a very, very, very helpful topic.
Yes. Marital happiness.
Marital happiness. I know a lot of times we can kind of, I know that a lot of times we can always say, it's not just about being happy. And it isn't. It isn't just about being happy. Marriage is a covenant. Marriage is something that is deeper than happiness, which we will define as circumstantial, which we'll define as when things are going well. That being said, it is good to enjoy our lives. It is good to have moments where we can really embrace those moments that are joyful, that are happy, where we feel emotionally connected, our friendship is strong. And so we wanted to talk about a few things that we think can most affect marital happiness.
And Solomon encourages us. He says, enjoy your life.
Enjoy
with the
life
wife of your
with
youth.
your wife, which includes happiness.
Yes.
Happiness. You won't always have it because circumstances in life are circumstances in life,
Right.
and relationships. And there are things that will affect marital happiness.
Yes.
But one thing we want to start off with before we begin into the detail of this series that I think will be very important and lay a groundwork for you is a statement that you said that I said I've never heard it put this clearly about marriage in our relationships. But say it for me one more time.
The question is, do we, as people, as married folks, do we really believe that if we deal with the how, the why will be taken care of?
The what will be taken care
The
of.
what will be taken care of.
Right.
Do we really believe that? Do we believe that how I interact with you, if I focused on that, whatever the topic is, whatever the situation is, we can then deal with that? And the reason I say that is because I know for us in our marriage for a long time, in the beginning, how I spoke to you was so bad and so disrespectful. We never got to what we were even talking about in the beginning. Because your attitude was, who you talking to? Who you think you talking to? Because how
you approached it.
How I approached it was so bad.
Yeah, and I can remember that, but vice versa. Same thing. The what in terms of things that I felt like I wanted you to change, but I would be so at times so critical. I would be at times so I would kind of go into like an interrogator mode. You know, whether it be with finances or whether it would be with our other areas of life, even intimacy. I would be so attacking that the actual issue never got dealt with.
How you approached it.
Yes.
Was so off-putting that we never even got to what is it you actually wanted me to do. It became more about
right. I described this recently to a couple to help them to try and see it. Is this? It's like a problem will come.
Okay.
Now imagine you have two brothers who do something. Two brothers who are in trouble with their parents, where one brother always gets the spanking. In our marriage, there's two little brothers in there. Well, the one thing is the actual issue that causes the problem.
Right.
And then the other one is the relationship.
Right.
Usually when a problem comes up, the relationship gets the beating. The relationship gets the pow, what's wrong with it? It gets beat up. And the actual topic never gets addressed.
No.
The actual topic, even though that's the one that started it, that little sibling runs off free. And that's the same thing in our marriages. It's just that a lot of times there'll be an actual issue that's a problem in the marriage, and it's legitimate. It may be sin on the part of one spouse, or it just may be an issue, a problem that's got to be dealt with.
Disappointment.
Right, something that's got to be apologized for, or there's a solution. But then on the other side, there's how you go about talking to them about it, how you go about addressing it. And that part is the relationship. And that's the one that in the relationship gets beat up while the problem runs free. So it's the how.
It's the how.
The how.
Isn't it true? We talked about the first, what is it in a conflict? It's the first.
Yes. in
How many minutes
from
was
Gottman
it?
studies on how to get through conflict,
Right.
and looking at actually one of the danger signs of divorce.
Right.
One of the danger signs of divorce is what they call harsh startup, and that is this:
Right.
they found the
Right.
couples that had a habit of divorcing very quickly. Sometimes it was as early as 5.6 years, and they would be able to predict this. They'd be able to predict this with 91% accuracy. One of the things they were looking for is something called harsh startup. That means the first 3 minutes of a
3 minutes.
conflict issue or an argument started off with an attack and a criticism and a defensive response. Like it started off bad. So they said when they see harsh startup and when two people disagree, they basically go, uh-oh, this is not going to go well for the entire marriage, not just for that argument, but definitely for the argument. So harsh startup is one of the biggest things to you want to be very conscious of, and that harsh startup is absolutely a how. It's not the issue as
the
yet.
how. So that plays into interactions. And so for me, for a long time, I didn't get it. I didn't get that when I interacted with you, I needed to make sure it was positive. Not that the conversation was always about a happy-go-lucky positive thing,
Right.
but that the experience, when you talk to me or I talk to you, the interaction could be a difficult conversation.
Absolutely.
But it didn't have to be a negative point against you or at you or
Right.
picking at you or poking at you or demeaning you. And I didn't know how to separate those two things. So that's the how.
That's the how. That's
the
how.
how.
Look, I want to give you an encouragement and a thought. But this is before we dive into those issues. Please understand, how has got to be more prioritized than the what. Because if you can trust that how you approach each other about a topic or anything, or just how you interact with each other, even without conflict, the what of having happiness in your relationship will be dealt with. But it's an act, it's a trust. In Ephesians chapter 4, this is one of my favorite for this topic, Ephesians 4:29, where Paul, and this is not necessarily marriage, but he says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Then he talks about getting rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, slander, and like Paul, the Spirit, emphasized how you interact with your spouse is gold. How? The moment to moment. So as we get ready to go through this series, I want to give you one suggestion that can help you with how you interact, and that's called, they nickname it, soft startup.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you how you can do a practice. Think of a need that you want to address in your marriage, and it may be something you just want more of or something you want less of. It's a protest, as we like to say. And I'd like you to write down 3 sentence starters. I feel about, and I would like. I feel about, I would like. Those 3 sentence starters are how you can complain in a way that is more likely to have a fruitful conversation. Still may be an argument, but it'll be more fruitful because it won't start off harsh.
Yes.
So it's, I feel, give an emotion. I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel annoyed about. Give the issue that's upsetting you. And then I would like, or I need. You think about, what can your spouse do to shine for you? In other words, what would bring a smile to your face? I suggest try writing that as you interact with your spouse and dip it all in gratitude.
Yep.
Remember, the first 3 minutes of a conversation determine how the outcomes will go. That's a how. So until we meet again,
This has been great.
this has been great. Try it. I feel about, I need.